And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the semifinals, the upper semis of the Sparkling Tuna Cup, the Sparkling Tuna Cup number 107. We already have our first finalist, Nightmare. He's already made it through to the grand finals, and he's waiting for either a Protoss or a Zerg opponent. Who is it going to be? As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Incorporeal, we have the Polish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Gerald. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Zerg player. We have the red Zerg player himself. It is YoungYakov. The Beyond Slayer, baby. Ay, ay, ay. Here we go. As we are here, we are back. We are jumping into our best of 3. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is a Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. As YoungYakov, he's gone through the gauntlet today. He won the ZVZ. He beat Wayne. Like, Wayne was not an easy first round opponent. He beats Wayne in the first round. He beats Björn, a Terran player, in the second round. And can he go for the hat trick? Can he go for the trifecta? Can he bring down a Protoss in the semifinals? That's going to be a tougher call to ask. I will say. God, no. We'll see if YoungYakov can bring Gerald down. Gerald, of course, he is one of the best Protoss players in all of Europe. He is one of the heavy hitters in this tournament and primed to go far in this event. We'll see if he can go further. We'll see if he can keep going. We'll see how he can threaten, or we'll see how he compares to YoungYakov. I mentioned before that YoungYakov, he's been a little bit less active after EWC, so I'm curious to see how he does compare. Oh, as so far, hatch gas pool. Standard opener out of YoungYakov. And Gerald back at him, just going for his own standard opener. Well, the Zoomers are speaking. So we just see Yakov, he says Zerg, and then Gerald Protoss. Then we have the poop emoji. No. It's a very highbrow conversation being held here. I can tell. It's very but yes, we do have the new PTR patch announced. We have yet to really discuss it officially. We've kind of briefly spoken about it here and there on streams. Probably going to wait for the podcast before we go a little bit more in depth. But what's important and what I find the most exciting about the patch is that we have already gotten amendments. It's been like less than a week. It's been less than a week since the PTR went live with the proposed patch, and there's already been changes to the patch as well. And that's maybe the best thing, that's maybe the most exciting thing about StarCraft right now is, hey, the people at Blizzard who just proposed the balance patch, they're listening. They're listening to feedback. They're taking in feedback. They're proposing changes. They're amending things. They're being active right now. And I will say this, and it's important to bear this in mind, especially if you're out there, if you're looking at the patch notes and if you find issues with it, it is important to vocalize your feedback. It's important to test as well. I know that we are going to be next week starting to run all of our tournaments on the PTR as Stalker does kill an Overlord. But what's important is that this is not now. I think it's been, because it's been a couple of days, because it's been less than a week, I guarantee you this is not the final version of the patch. No shot. Not after like what, 4 or 5 days. Yeah, I want to say like 4 days of the patch going live, of there being a change being made. Most likely they're going to be listening to more feedback. Most likely they're going to be gaining that kind of intel, that feedback, especially from PTR related tournaments, and making decisions and making changes moving forward for the eventual final patch in a couple of months. I say in a couple of months, most likely coming into end of October, beginning of November. So that's what's exciting, is that there's like iteration. And I don't think we've had that in a long time. Even when ESL were proposing patches, it would typically take weeks for any kind of change to the PTR. There would be some changes to the PTR, but like they'd be few and far between. And more often than not, whenever a balance patch was proposed, like it would typically be committed to. So yeah, that's maybe the most exciting thing that's happening when it comes to you know, the patch, and when it comes to what's happening with Blizzard. Meanwhile, Glavedeps. Stargate opener into a fast Twilight Council into Glavedeps here from Gerald. Let's go. With this, YoungYakov, if he's skipping tech, he's going to be in danger. And what do we see? We see not just one Evo chamber, we see a second Evo chamber. Yakov may just die. What's important about what's happening? No Roach Warren, no Baneling Nest. Yakov is cutting corners. He's cutting corners. He's being greedy. He's going Mass Ling. Now, if he does make enough Lings, if Yakov does not drone, then Mass Ling can deal with this, but only if he doesn't drone. If he doesn't make a lot of Lings soon, then Mass Adept will overwhelm the Zerglings, will break through, and will potentially deal critical damage. As Gerald, he is moving out. Glaives are now done. I will say this is a little bit, yeah, it looks like we missed a warp in. Yeah, Gerald, he did miss a warp in. So that's why Gerald, he's banking up minerals and banking up gas. So a little bit lackluster when it comes to the execution. This is going to give YoungYakov more time. As Gerald, he's banking 1,000 minerals. Jesus. Like, Gerald, now is not the time. Unfortunately, he got supply blocked as well. He got supply blocked. He missed a warp in. There are less adepts to work with. Nice drone drilling here. Oh my, Yakov. He drone drills down the adepts to death, and with that, Yakov, he defends. Still will lose 5 drones in the process, but that could have been so much. Oh, okay, never mind. And that could have been so much worse, as the more drones are going to be going down. In the end, 7 worker kills. Lings, they come in. They come in, they surround, they shut down the adepts. And Yakov holds. Yakov, he does hold, and we gotta spend our money. We need to spend our money. So some shaky play out of Gerald. Does still get 3 drones across the map. Gerald, he's still banking almost 1,000 minerals. He throws down a gateway explosion, double forge. So messy here from Gerald. Lings, they come over the surround, but there is blink. Oh, no, sorry, there isn't. No blink, no blink. Stalkers, they get locked down, and YoungYakov, he can break in. Yeah, he can break in. Adepts are wreaking havoc. We're getting very messy. We're getting messy. Drones are falling left and right. Yakov, he's all in. This is the Oracle. Yeah, the Oracle will defend. And Yakov, he will lose everything. 15 drones go down. Despite the messy setup here from Gerald, he defends and he attacks, and Gerald, he gets ahead. He takes a lead as he's still not done. And they shed into the main. They get 1 more drone. That is 22 drone kills in total. That is a critical damage. And Yakov, we gotta make something happen here. He's going Mass Zergling, he's going for Overlord speed. That looks like Dropper-Lords. Link is still not yet done. Yakov, can he surround? He's trying. Oh, does knock down some of the Stalkers. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 Stalkers going out. 4 Stalkers even. Not bad. But that 1 Oracle defends. And Gerald's getting further ahead. Look at the worker count. Look at the economy here. Gerald, he has 80 probes. He's on 4 bases. Meanwhile, we have a 4-basing Zerg player with less workers. Now taking up the hive. Now, based on what YoungYakov has right now, what do you see? No Hydroden, no Roach Warren, no Spire. It looks like Ling into Ultras, right? This looks like Ultra Tech. This can work if you have map control, if you have momentum, but if you don't, this is very difficult here, as it's quite expensive. Like, it's very expensive getting into Mass Ultra, and getting into Mass Ultra from behind is it's brutal. It's not easy. And there it is. There's the Ultra Cavern. Again, like what we're seeing out of YoungYakov, like we've seen it before. Like this is a build that Dark used to be quite fond of. But the difference is, what would Dark be doing with Mass Ling? He'd be killing bases. He'd be getting mineral lines. He'd be killing Stalkers. He'd be gaining map control and keeping the Protoss player contained, and just being able to do so with pure Ling. YoungYakov, he, I would say, failed to achieve that. As a result, Stalkers are poking into Sniper Expansion. Yep, we have Adepts on one side, Stalkers on the other. Meanwhile, Yakov going for the Mass Doom drop. We gotta commit, we gotta go for it. Ooh, knocks down the rocks. And this base will go down. The base will go down, a recall is available. Lings, they flood into the main. There's a recall. And Gerald, he defends. Gerald, he defends the main base. Lings, they hit the natural. This is where damage can be done. Gets 4 probes. It's okay. Oh, getting more. 8 probe kills. Lings, they catch out the Adepts. Yakov, he's getting some damage. It's something. 8 probes, get some adepts. His eyes are on the space, his 5th base should be denied. And again, this is okay damage, but we still need more than this. As that was a kill. Oh, okay. That was a kill, not a cancel. Storm is done. Storm is done. Hatchery is denied. And Gerald, he might just have too much here. How many storms does he have? 1 Templar? Ooh, okay. Only 1. Yakov, he can hold. He has 6 ultras on the way. The intern is back from the gap year. Ah, he has returned. I think that was my favorite comment. I think someone said when the announcement happened, when it comes to the updated patch notes, is the intern got promoted. He is no longer the intern back. He got promoted. Crazy. Ah. The hopium is real. The hopium. The intern actually getting paid. Crazy, crazy. As both armies are maxing out, Gerald is working towards Skytoss, Mothership's on the way, going into double robo into Mass Immortal. But the Immortals aren't ready yet, so right now we do have a big power spike for YoungYakov. He has how many Ultras? 6. 6 Ultralisks. With a couple of Infestors. And right now there's how many Immortals? I believe 0. Yeah, 0 Immortals. Now double robo is built to make Mass Immortal, but Gerald's not there yet. Where's the rest of the army? Ultras, they move in. Gonna be deflected. Ultras, they defend back at home. Now, as time goes on, Gerald's gonna get further ahead. What do we have? Immortals, right? The Immortals are amassing. Tempest production has begun. Gerald, he's refining his army. Meanwhile, YoungYakov, he's stuck with all these Ultras. We're gonna make something happen here. Spires on the way. Spires in production. They break through the front door. And they break through the gateways. Yakov is going for the 3rd. Always a pull away in time. 0 economic damage. At least no probe kills, I should say. Does get the expansion though. Oh, we're coming in for the new. Oh my god! we massed Nero the Stalkers. Let's go. As he does focus himself down. Catching out Stalkers. Maybe not the best neural choices there, as the Immortals did survive and so did the Archons. I mean, it's something. The problem is now YoungYakov has to wait for the Infestors to recharge. But at least they survive. Let's just take it away. Remember, Gerald, he has an economy, so he's building up more Immortals. That's a lot of Immortals already. And this is what we have to get out of Ultra, I would say. Just due to the sheer Immortal count. There are how many? There are 6 Immortals already. Soon to be 8. Now, all this changes, of course, if we can neural, right? If we can neural all the Immortals, then that doesn't matter. Okay, they can roll in. They do not connect with the High Templar, which means feedbacks are available. Again, that's the goal, that's the hope. It's to catch out those Templar. Storm, it doesn't really do much here. Nice feedbacks, yeah, feedbacks on the Infestors, we spoke about that. Does land a couple of Neurals. Gets an Archon, gets an Immortal. Going for the Microbial Shroud. but the choke one here is brutal. And the Ultras, they cannot quite get in. The Stasis trap, there we go. Stasis runs out. Neural the Archons. Doesn't get on top of the Immortals though. And Gerald, he holds. Yeah, Gerald, he does hold. Does force this back. When it comes to the trades, oh, that was 5 Infestors being thrown away. Brutal losses. And Gerald, he punishes. Gerald does punish. Now, Gerald did lose the mineral line. True, he lost the mineral line, and you could argue that even though, like, efficiency-wise, that was much more efficient from Gerald, that is true, without an economy, YoungYakov can just remax. YoungYakov, he can rebuild, he can remax, and Gerald cannot, as his economy is stifled. So Yakov making more Corruptor, now getting into Corruptor production. Setting up for a flank. On one side. The wall was rebuilt. Does force a recall. Lings, they almost get in. Oh, they get a decent surround. Gets the High Templar, okay. Snipes one Templar. Lings, they trade well. Again, they're Cracklings. +3 with Adrenal. He's popping off. We've got 7 more Infestors on the way. And again, if we can neural those Immortals and the Archons, or a mixture of the two. Oh, Ultras too soon? Yeah, the Ultras, they do move a little bit too far ahead. He got the neurals. Yeah, he gets 1, he gets 2. Gets 3 Immortals. Yeah, and with that, he can turn the tides of the fight. He's pushing in. Does push in. The Immortals, they do help out. Ooh, but the Ultras do fall. And Yakov, he doesn't quite break the army. He plummets the supply. Remember, this is an expensive army. He's got 6 more Ultras on the way. Does save the Infestors, though. Does save them. He pulls back. There's a lot of creep to work through. Assimilation. This feels like a little bit of a waste, but I mean, I guess. As this hatchery is going to go down. Ooh, Zelaramo's on the left-hand side. Drones are falling left and right. Yakov, he's hurting. As he will lose the base. Neurals a couple of Immortals. Doesn't quite sign both. Oh, no, the Infestors, yeah, a bit of miscontrol. Infestors, they push too far forward. Lands one of the bungles. Where are the Neurals? Yeah, Neurals are late. Late Neurals. And Gerald, he'll take the fight. He'll take the fight. GG gets called. Gerald, he will take game number 1. Whew, GG. A wild style here out of YoungYakov. Had a lot of potential, but as you saw, YoungYakov, his economy was not as ideal as it needed to be, especially on Incorporeal. It can be very difficult to actually maintain your fringe bases as they are so exposed. We saw mineral line after mineral line, base after base going down for YoungYakov. He could not sustain himself. Did have some nice fights, did have some nice moments, but in the end, he was still trading inefficiently against Gerald. In the end, Gerald did persevere. GG. GG, well played. Again, to make the style work, you need to have the economic lead. You need to have a bank because of how expensive those Ultras are. So it's not easy to make work. Not easy. As without that economy, you just burn through your bank so quickly. And now we're getting into game 2. And we'll see if Gerald can clean up this series and take the 2-0. We'll see if YoungYakov can fight back. As we are loading into the largest map of the map pool, let's go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Maganatha, we have the blue Protoss player. The blue Protoss, we have the Polish Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Gerald. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the red Zerg player. The red Zerg player himself. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back. It is YoungYakov. Here we go. I see Senju asking in the chat, is this current patch or PTR? If we ever do host PTR tournaments, then the phrasing PTR will most likely be in the title of the stream. Will be in the title. Just like with if we're playing like on a mod, for example. So you can keep an eye for that. Otherwise, assume current patch, man. Current patch. Estes, calm down, Cyberjoe. Calm down. Ay. You're an animal. But again, we should be hosting our events on the PTR starting next week. We should be moving our events over. I don't know about the other weeklies. I know Monday Night Weekly already switched over to the PTR. I don't have any news regarding PvZ Cup, KSL, or Wardy TV Monday. I don't have confirmation regarding that. But we'll be switching all of ours over. Like we typically try to do or get as much testing as possible. Same when it comes to the TLMC maps. We'll most likely be switching to the TLMC map finalists whenever they get announced as well for all of our maps or for all of our tournaments as well. All the TLMC maps. Otherwise, we have our Stargate opener out of Gerald, Stargate opener into a third base, everything looking normal, everything looking standard. As a reminder, last game, Gerald did go for a Glaive Adepts, did go for Glaives as a follow-up, which had mixed results. I mean, remember, the game got very messy. If you recall, YoungYakov was losing a lot of drones, Gerald, he was losing some units here to the Massling. Like, it was a very messy start that Gerald took a lead in, for sure. Did have a stronger early to mid game. Yakov, he almost brought it back with the ultras, but it wasn't quite enough. Not quite. Oh, as that is a Void Ray opener. Okay, going for the Void Ray instead of the Oracle. KSL was on the live patch. We casted KSL. KSL was on the current patch. I'm referring to next week's KSL. I'm referring to the upcoming events. The one downside of the PTR is that I believe there's only one server for the PTR, and I believe it's US Central. So that's the one downside, is that it forces everyone to play on worse servers. So that's the one thing that would be stopping people from running events on the PTR. As we're going for a duel in, Jesus. YoungYakov, he cuts workers. He drones up to 34, very low drone count, basically just under 2 base economy. And it's purely Link Queen. Pure Link Queen flood. Here we go. Going for the all-in. Lings are flooding across the map. Queens are waddling across as well. As Lings do break in. Do break in. They take down the Adept. Bust into the natural. And so far... Oh! Yeah, probes are falling. He does get in. This is still not enough damage, though. Late Baneliness. Oh, trying to go for a Bane Bust follow-up. As things get 11 probe kills in the main. Nice damage. Again, the wall was open. It's still open. And here come the Queens. Here comes the Queens. They're waddling in. The Queens have finally made it. As the Queens have arrived. Baileys are morphing in. And what's scary is that Gerald, he doesn't see this coming. Remember, what did he do? He opened up Void Ray, not Oracle. And the Oracle's at home as well, so 0 scouting. Yeah, 0 scouting information. Lings get a surround. They get one of the Stalkers. Patch Shield already putting in a lot of Jesus. Never mind. The Shield already pops up. Nice baiting connections. But Gerald, he's trading very well against these Lings. Void Ray goes down. No transfuse. No transfuse, no creep. Lings, they flood in. But yeah, YoungYakov, he's not doing enough here. He's not doing enough damage. He's down to 2 queens. Does not get a stalker. There's the NG overcharge. And Gerald, he holds. Gerald, he does hold. There's 1 queen left. 1 queen remaining. I say that with all these links flooding in, we will barely clean this up here. Yakov, just barely. He barely breaks through. Takes down all the stalkers. Took down the Oracle. And Yakov, he will take down the 3rd base. And behind this, now we start droning. Now we start droning. Now we start saturating. Workers are on the way. And with that, does get the expansion, does get the 3rd. That's the bare minimum that YoungYakov was hoping for. Kills the base, gets a couple of probe kills. And we just got to drone. We just got to drone up as much as we can. Yakov, he's droning. Hydroden's on the way. Again, it took a long time. It was a very long attack, very long assault. Eventually broke down the 3rd. Eventually. From here, the layer is done. Taking up into Hydras. Oh, gets us around. Once again, does around. And Yakov, he's now massing up Link Hydra. He's done droning up to just under 3 base saturation. Gerald's going for a counterattack, but YoungYakov, he's in control here. He has plenty to work with. And Yakov, he should save the expansion. With the arrival of the Hydras, I should say. Hydras are coming. Hydras are coming in. No stasis wards. No stasis traps to fall back to. Gerald, he chooses not to expand. He's going for, I believe, an 8k 2 base all in. Yep, 8 gateways. So one way or another, the game is about to end. Either Gerald kills YoungYakov, or he dies trying. Gets 1, gets 2 stalkers. Oh. Barely gets a 3rd. Their stalker goes down. That's a lot of deadlings. Depowers the gateway. That will delay reinforcements. That will delay. Yakov making as many Zerglings as he can. 22 more links in production. He needs those Zerglings. As there are now stasis traps. Likewise, it's a lot of stalkers. Yakov now taking him into a lurker den. Bold move, very bold. If he can get to lurkers, he can win the game. But they're a ways away. Ooh, stasis goes off. A nice stasis trap, nice force fields. A lot of waste DPS with the Hydras. Yakov starts stepping in, takes down all the sentries. Takes care of all the Zelts as well. He's holding. Yeah, Yakov, he's holding on. The stage trap about to run out. Going for the gateway, shuts it down. No more warpins, no more reinforcements. And GG gets called. YoungYakov, he holds, he survives the all-in, and YoungYakov will force the ace match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. We are going all the way to game 3, and we'll see how this story ends. We'll see if this goes the way of Gerald or YoungYakov. One final game of the series. Uno más, papi, uno más. Oh. Here we go. As we are getting into as we get into that final game, loading into Persephone. as we're now getting into the final game of the series, the ace match, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the Polish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss. Representing Streamer Zone, it is Gerald. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player. The red Zerg player himself, it is YoungYakov. We go. From here, we do have our standard openers. Calming down, we're settling in, and so far it's been a very aggressive series. Game 1, we had Gerald going into Glaive Adepts. Game 2, we had YoungYakov going for the Mass Link Queen all-in. In Game 3, I'm expecting aggression as well from one of our two players. Most likely YoungYakov, but we'll see. I would imagine that Gerald's going to slow things down and try to be a little bit more defensive here, even blindly. We'll see how YoungYakov will approach this. Show us what you got. But at least I've gotten all that I wanted. Ace match. Let's go. Regardless of how this goes, we go all the way to Game 3. We're greedy like that, Papa. We're greedy. So we find ourselves in that ace match, and from here we're going to be droning. Interesting placement for the pylon. Typically, if we go for a Stargate opener, we throw it in the pylon closer to the edge of the main base to get your Oracle across the map faster. Here it's further back. It could still be a Stargate, but last game, Gerald did open up Void Ray, if you recall. Did go for the Void Ray. There's that Stargate. Overlord is yet to confirm. So we have our standard third base timing, and we'll see if we go for another Void Ray or an Oracle. Eyes are on Gerald. This is where YoungYakov just cuts workers here and just makes nothing but lings. So Yakov, he's still on a low drone count, 26. We should be droning up a little bit further at least, even if we were to go for an all-in. There we go. Some drones are on the way. Actually droning up. At least somewhat. And it is Oracle first, no Void Ray. So we're calming things down. Everything's looking normal here. We have the Oracle opener into a third base. From here, we should be able to just saturate a little bit, get an extra gateway up and running, go for a later Twilight Council. Oh, that is a fast lair. Okay. Yeah, my attention. That is what, a 3:35-ish lair timing? Jesus. So very early lair here by YoungYakov. Queens, they zone away. They deny the scouts. Yeah, God, he does not scout. He does not know. Now, with the fast lair, what could this be? A couple of different things. Could be Nidus, right? This could be a Link Queen Nidus all-in. This could be fast Muta play even, as the Oracle does rotate around, heads towards the natural base. Queens, they do deny once again. Denies even scouting yet the attempted gases. Okay. Gas is now on the way. They were hidden. They were delayed because the Oracle tries to go back in. Up. Oh, he gets in. Yeah, he does get in. Big scout here. Sees the gases. Sees the lair that's almost complete. And, oh god, with that mining is going to be denied. Gets a full scout. It is going to be fast Hydra. Okay, not Nidus. Going for fast Hydras. Stage trap goes off the main. No reaction. No response. Massive connection. And we're not stopped. We're going to stasis everything. YoungYakov, oh, thankfully does pull away. Does pull away, but these have been brutal stasis traps. And again, Gerald, he got what he needed. He got the scanning information. He knows. He confirms the tech. He knows it's not Hydras. Sorry, he knows it's not Aspire. It's not Mutas. He knows it's not Nidus. Now, rushing into a hydrogen like this, there is a build that Solar is very fond of. I would imagine this is it. It is a 3-base Ling Hydra all-in, where you get a 4th base just for Larva, and you don't get an Eva Chamber. If so, the fact that there's no Eva Chamber here, the fact that we have a fast hydrogen, leads me to believe it's going to be a Ling Hydra all-in, but we'll see. As we have seen this plenty of times from Solar. Was very fond of it in the first half of the year. Stalkers, they rotate in. Yakov, he's cutting workers at 60. He's taking the 4th base just for Larva. Goes up to 5 gases. And as you can see, he's not droning up anymore. And he's not getting an Eva Chamber. So this does look like that Ling Hydra all-in. Oh boy. And now we have Hydra range on the way. Again, only the Hydra upgrades, nothing else. Only those upgrades. And YoungYakov is about to spike up in supply. He's about to spike up. Behind this, Gerald, he's still working on his gateway composition. No fast splash damage. Lings they perk in, so does Gerald. We're trading bases, but remember, YoungYakov, he intends to keep going. He's taking down this base and he wants more than that. So there's a recall. There's a recall back home, does not get the expansion, which means that YoungYakov still has Larva. This is a little bit too soon though. Yakov, we're gonna calm down. Backs off. Catches out a couple of Stalkers. And Yakov, he starts droning. Okay, he does decide to drone up. So he's droning, he's working towards the lurker den. Now, we have some pros and some cons here. On the one hand, he denied the 4th base. I don't think that was enough though. Basically what's happening here is that YoungYakov, he has decided he cannot kill Gerald. He cannot kill him, or he doesn't want to try to kill him. So now we're taking, now we're droning, but this is all late. So late drones, late saturation, and lack of upgrades as well, lack of Eva chambers. So we're going for another big power spike with lurker tech. It's going to be lair tech lurkers. Remember, no infestation, but either no hive. The lair tech lunkers, back. This is a unique variation. Like, typically, I don't see Solar going into this. Like, you just commit to Ling Hydra, you just double down with Ling Hydra. To drone up and to go into lair tech lurkers is a bold move. We'll see if it pays off. Do we have any detection? 2 oracles. The oracles are still alive. Lurkers are morphing in. And we'll see if YoungYakov can make this work. Nice denial. Nice contamination. Contaminate +2. Stalkers are moving in. Yakov out of position. He will save the base. Trying to loop the army in. Lurkers are going for a counterattack. And lurkers are moving out. And again, this is it. This is the Hail Mary play for YoungYakov. Sets up in between the bases. And he should be on hold position. The hold position lurkers. He's luring him in. Let's go. And we're holding on. We're holding off on those lurkers. We're waiting. Does it? Yeah, here it is. Here it is. Does attack. Does catch out the Stalkers. Massive connections. He's going for the kill. Very nice moves here from YoungYakov. Is it going to be enough though? Zells do warp in. That was maybe the best fight that YoungYakov could hope for. But the lurkers are still exposed. And Gerald, can he hold on? There's 2 lurkers left. Still 2. As he's getting some lurkers, he's going to be able to reset. But there's only a handful of Stalkers remaining. Only a handful of Stalkers. 1 lurker survives. And Yakov is rallying everything across. Oh no, we have left some lurkers behind. Bring him in, Pappy. There we go. Bring him in. Again, we saw the whole position lurkers last series against Bjorn. Here we saw them against Gerald. The setup, papi. It was crazy. He laid the trap. God, he walked into it in more ways than one. Storm is a non-factor. Got a High Templar, but zero Storm. Mothership's on the way. And Lurkers, they wedge themselves in between the bases. Again, the Lair Tech Lunkers, baby. Let's go. Yakov pushes in. Going for the natural. And GG gets called. YoungYakov will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. YoungYakov. Ay. GG, well played. Congratulations here to YoungYakov as he was claiming the series 2-1. He had so little faith in himself, even against Wayne, by the way, but he takes down Wayne, takes down Beyond, takes down Gerald as well, takes down one of each race, and he has made it to the grand finals. Ay. GG, well played. With that, YoungYakov does claim it, and we have our two finalists. Here. Up next, we have the grand finals. It's going to be a best of 5 between YoungYakov and Nightmare. Let's go. GG, well played again. A very impressive performance there by YoungYakov. A really interesting play as well. Again, I was caught off guard by the Lair Tech Lurkers as well, and it was really cool to see him not make use of it in the main army, but sneak up behind the Stalkers of Gerald, set up in between the bases, and stay there on hold position, wait for Gerald to walk over the army, and then bam! The trap was sprung, and Yakov dominated from there. GG, well played. Crazy moves there out of YoungYakov. Very impressive. But now he has a titan of an opponent. Up next is going to be YoungYakov versus Nightmare. Oh boy.